In this video tutorial, we will continue with the style settings for the vertical write-only layout with Elementor Timeline Widget Pro plugin. So let's continue with the video tutorial. We will be editing the year label online settings. We can change the year label color to suit the timeline. Here, we can add the year label background color. We can change the font family for the year label online settings. Next, we can increase or decrease the font size with this slider option. Here, we can add a weight to the font. We can increase or decrease the weight. We can capitalize or use the uppercase for the year label font. Again, here we can use italic or normal style for the font. Next, we can underline or use any other option here. Here, we can add or reduce the spacing between each letter and text content. And with word spacing, we can increase or reduce the space between each word and the text content. We can add border to these options. We can select a border type here. Here, we can select the color for the border. We can change border width that's suitable for the content. Here, we can add or increase the year box size with this slider. Next, coming to content background and border settings, we can add a padding around the content. Next, we can add spacing under the content in the bottom. Next, we can select and add a background color for the content. We can add hover background effect, mouse over background color for the content here. We can select the background type with this option and select the color from the color picker here. Next, under content box border, we can add a border for the content. We can select a border type from these options. We can change border width that's suitable for the content. Here, we can select the color for the border, as well as change the border radius to give it a nice cool corner around the box. We can add a shadow to the content box here. We can select a color for the box shadow from the color picker window here. Next, we can add a horizontal shadow if needed by moving the slider left or right in this panel. And again, we can also add vertical shadow to the box here. We can give a nice blur shadow effect to the content box with this blur and spread option in this panel. Next, we can change the content box connector with these options. We can add a border color for the content box connector, and as well as a background color for a content box connector. Under title settings, we can change the color of the title text here. Here we can add a background color for the title text. Next, we can change the typography of the title text here. We can select the font family here. We can change the size of the font here. We can change the weight of the font. Other font settings like uppercase or lowercase or capitalized. Next, we can change the font style from the options here. We can select underline or strike through the title with these options. We can add line height to the title box by moving this slider to reduce or increase the space above and below the title. Similarly, to add letter spacing in the title text, we can use the slider option here. And again, we can add space between each word in the title text with this last typography option. Next, we can add padding for the title text here. Again, we can increase the gap under the title content below. We are done with the title style option in vertical right only layout with Elementor Timeline add-on Widget Pro. We will continue the final part of the style settings for the timeline vertical right only layout in the next video.